Right now, two businesses can have exactly the same AI tools. One uses them daily to generate leads and grow.
The other barely uses them at all and wonders why nothing is changing. And the difference isn't in the tools.
It's how they're applied. So today, we're giving you 5 practical AI hacks you can actually implement in your business starting this week. Welcome back to the Marketing Podcast for Local Businesses, the show that gives you practical, proven marketing advice to help you grow your business right here in the UK. My name's Adam, best-selling Amazon published author of a book titled Becoming a Strategic Business Leader, the Ultimate All-in-One Guide. I'm an AI enthusiast and founder of website designers.London. We've helped businesses generate tens of millions online through smarter design and marketing.
My name's Josh. I'm the founder of ImproveMySearchRanking.com, a specialist SEO agency based in South London. We've worked with well over 400 businesses, helping them generate over £200 million in sales.
Amazing. So we've got a few things to talk about here, but the first hack was about building a tool for your website, and we've both kind of had some success with building tools. But I guess, firstly, how would people build tools and what do those tools look like? So maybe we'll start with the latter. What sort of tools could local businesses build, perhaps?
So I've got some good examples here that we started to implement in our clients' websites. First and foremost, we have the idea of if you're a garden designer or a landscape business or anything where you need to visualize something like a kitchen designer or property-based business, you can create an AI-generated tool that you can upload a picture and the user can then imagine and type in some things. I want a red door. I want this tree in my garden, wherever it may be, and it will automatically generate for you. So that's one quite interesting use case. This next one's quite funny. I was speaking to someone the other day, and he works with hair transplant companies. And he said they're developing a tool so you can upload your picture and see what you look like with a hair transplant. And that's quite a funny, quite a good use case of the of AI. Those are two ideas. Another couple would be creating a kind of price estimator or calculator. So we created mortgage calculators and price estimation tools for our clients as well.
So you're funny that I know I didn't really react when you said that, because
You've seen one.
I've seen a business, and this business actually used the tools that we use in order to generate their business, and they kind of did an interview with TechCrunch. And they had seems very successful with their business. It's actually called myhair.ai, and they do exactly the same thing. They essentially check your hairline and bald spots, and then start a growth plan with products to see if they can actually grow your hair back.
That's cool.
So I wasn't surprised at that, but brilliant idea when I first saw it too. Absolutely brilliant idea. And they built it using no coding, zero coding. My mum, who barely knows how to use an iPhone, probably could create the app, essentially, because it's just using natural language or a normal English kind of sentence to create the app. So another example would be perhaps interior design. I know we've probably talked about exterior design quite a bit. So interior design, taking a kind of photo video of your kitchen. I mean, that's very common with virtual reality nowadays, where you can stick on some. I don't know if you've seen the shows where people kind of design the gardens and they stick on the kind of these goggles, and it virtually shows them how the interior of the house would look. But look, we're not talking virtual reality here. We're talking reality, real reality. So the tool that we actually use to do that, and you guys can do that too, is Lovable. Lovable. Again, we'll put some links in the show notes, and I think we've already. If you've listened to our previous episode, you've heard us talk about it. I'm a fan of Lovable. Josh, you're a fan of
Replit. Actually, the tools we've used recently, we've made them in Gemini and Claude.
Really?
Completely for free. So just
really
free accounts. Yeah.
Wow. So I know Claude has done some fantastic improvements to their AI platform. What tools did you use? What tool did you build even?
We built in Claude, we built a price calculator for a window cleaning company, and it looks really cool. It simply outputs it in a HTML format. You copy and paste it into your website, and we use Gemini to create, I think, 7 different mortgage calculators for another one of our clients.
Wow.
So
Couple of
it's
minutes each?
probably about 20 minutes
Wow.
effort. So, and it also, once a potential customer fills that information in as well, we've connected it to the contact form, so it passes through all the information in the estimation element and then gives that to the customer.
Brilliant. I've had success as well. I've talked about on the previous the previous podcast episode, a website called northcyprus-guide.com, which is essentially a website which houses a lot of information on North Cyprus, how to get there, what it's like, if it's safe or not, um, coupled with a directory of places you can visit, hotels, restaurants, um, baklava places, etc. Again, all using these tools. So that was just a separate tool that I built using, again, the English language by just typing in the sentence, build me a tool that will help people find out various places to visit in Cyprus, and then it just spits out a tool. Easy as that. So, how how beneficial are they for businesses, and why should businesses create these tools? I guess.
So, I briefly touched on it a moment ago, but you could use these tools to essentially qualify leads for your business. It secondly increases the average time on site, the engagement rate, which is a factor Google would look at. And if you have a high engagement rate, that would increase your Google rankings. And they also position you as an expert.
Absolutely. All great reasons to create it. If you can, using Claude, Gemini, they're free, and you can integrate it into a website. Now, the integration might work with the web developer once you've created it to help integrate it, or you can even just give us one of us a call. I'm happy to help. Contact details in the show notes. So, tip number 2 or hack number 2.
So this will be turning one piece of content into multiple formats or multiple different types of content. So you may have already developed a blog post for your website, and instead of just leaving it at that, you could then transform it into various different things with the use of AI tools. So one we've used together previously, Adam and I, is something called Veed to generate short form video. So this is where you just copy and paste the text that you've got your blog, and it'll turn it into a short video. That's quite a cool example.
Yeah. So Veed.io. So www.veed.io. Presentations as well. So kind of instead of using PowerPoint to create a presentation, you literally, let's say you've got a social media post that you've created, and whatever you've used for the caption, you could almost pop that into gamma.app or Replit or Lovable. Again, these are 3 different tools. Or even ChatGPT and say, hey, this is an image that I've created, or for my social media, or this is a blog post that I've created. Please create me a prompt that I can use in gamma.app or Replit or Lovable to create a presentation, which I can then offer as some sort of lead generation tool, or even just a freebie to capture my customers' details to then use on my marketing lists.
Precisely.
So this in these examples, we're essentially using artificial intelligence to multiply the one piece of content we've recorded or put in effort to create to generate other forms of content. Ultimately, we are in an era of multimodal content. Every business should be creating various forms, various forms of media and various forms of media, to kind of publish externally, whether that's a blog written in text, whether that's a video, whether that's a podcast, whether that's some social media posts. You should be everywhere, and that can be difficult when you're running a startup and you are the HR person, finance person, the marketing person. We get it. use AI to your advantage is the point here.
Exactly. Cool. So hack number 3 is to use AI to generate before and after case studies. So this isn't, we're not saying create and
Fabricate them.
fabricate them, generate me some nice case studies. But actually, what you could do is take the information you have and ask AI to improve upon it. So you might write a short sentence. We worked with this customer. We did this service for them. They got this result. You could ask ChatGPT or other LLM to kind of expand upon that, or get it to kind of interview you to generate a much more detailed before and after case study. Another quick idea on this is photography. So you may have taken a photo before and after, and it might not be exactly in the right spot when you took the photo. You could ask AI to adjust the photo, crop it, perhaps even invent or sort of invent based on the other two photos the space it's missing, so it's precise and exactly the same in before and after photos.
Absolutely. Look, essentially, you're just using AI to make these little tweaks that will make you seem significantly more professional, and they'll go a long way when you're displaying these case studies on your marketing materials, online, offline, whatever it may be. Let's move on to the fourth hack. So, creating a chatbot using AI for lead qualification. So, think about the common, frequently asked questions that you are asked as a business. How much time do you spend answering the same question? Let's say you're a baker and you're going to answer, you know, how much do you charge for a 3-tier wedding cake, sponge cake? How much do you bake gluten-free goods? Do you have a health and safety certificate? All these questions, you could just create a chatbot in a matter of minutes using AI, popping it on your website, and people can just use that to ask those frequently asked questions. Again, I've done that on northcyprus-guide.com. It's literally a bespoke travel planner. So people just ask, I don't know, how can I get to North Cyprus if it's only recognized by Turkey? And it gives you the answer. It's a very elaborate answer, and it gives you sources. It's really brilliant. You could do that for a number of other things as well, right, Josh?
Mm-hmm. So when you build that one, did you have to provide a lot of information first, or was it?
It's a good question. So I actually already had a lot of the information on my website because I had 2 sections. I had the directory of the hotels, restaurants, dentists, etc. But I also had essentially what I call guides, but it's essentially a blog where I had hundreds and hundreds of, a couple of hundred of blog posts with all that information. So it does a number of things. It uses, depends on how you configure it and ask it to an AI, uses the content on your website as a priority. And if you don't have that information on your website, it will source the information externally.
Another quite interesting use case, not for customers, but you could have a chatbot for your team. So say you run a business and you have a backlog of processes and systems and information and decision-making processes. You could upload that into your chatbot, and instead of your staff coming to you and saying, what do we do in scenario X? What should we do scenario Y? That could inform your team what to do, saving you time.
Absolutely. And that's great. Another use of kind of creating that chatbot. There are so many different ways you could use a chatbot. You could use it as some sort of data collection. So, you have these big companies like, I'm thinking HubSpot, I'm thinking Talk2, so TAWK.TO. Then you have, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, other some chatbots.
What's called Tidio, I think it is. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tilio, yeah. So many different platforms that charge for this chatbot function, which you can now create for free by yourself in a matter of minutes. And another benefit, which you've highlighted here, is arguably it'll answer your clients' questions. It will help your potential clients or your existing clients throughout the day, 7 days a week, whilst you're asleep or awake. If you're on holiday or here, you might be in the Maldives, you might be in Vienna.
Cool. So finally, hack number 5. This is using AI to help develop your customer personas. So most businesses, I would say, probably don't really understand their ideal customer profile, or even their existing customers who they've got. They may have a database of 100, 500, 1,000, thousands of customers they've served over the years. This this idea is where you could take all those email addresses, maybe all the names, the ages, the genders, where they live, what they purchased from you in the past, and you could upload this into ChatGPT and design a prompt to make it analyze your previous customers and work out what you could use that data for going forward. So should you um, ring every customer after 1 year to renew their service or to upsell them with something else, to ask them for a review, to ask them, maybe you started a referral program, you could ask all these past customers to refer you to other people. So there's a few kind of ideas.
This reminds me of there was a show called Bull, Bull, and it's this American show whereby it's based on jury trials, and they create these personas. So it's basically a trial scientist on trial science, psychological and trial science consulting firm where they actually create these personas to better understand their jurors,
Mm-hmm.
to give them a better outcome in the trial for their client.
Interesting.
So let's say you have a jury of 12 people, or how many people there are, I don't know. They use everything they know about each of those people, create the persona of each of those jurors, and then frame their questions and the way they create their arguments in court according to that persona using the information. And they always seem to get a great outcome. And this is kind of essentially what we're doing. We're using our customer personas to get the best outcome.
That's really interesting. I suppose that's a use case for lawyers as well now. So they'll be, if they're listening, they've got a new tactic.
Fantastic. So look, I guess there are some key themes here. You've got speed. The barriers to entry are lower with these great tools. So you're able to execute better. Your strategy of your business can pivot and become much more agile and offer more quite easily. There are other discussions we need to think about. What happens when everyone uses AI? I don't personally feel like we should really spend too much time thinking about that just yet, because if we look at statistics, there are significant amounts of people who, I'd say probably nine for every 10 listeners we have, 9 probably won't be using any of these, all of these or any of these tools. So be the first mover. Don't wait until everyone uses it. But arguably, hopefully AI will level the playing field, so you as a small business owner can maybe compete with the larger business owner.
Yeah, I think right now you can't get that first mover advantage, and implementing any of these ideas here we discussed today, or adjusting it to match your business, you're going to be able to create, maybe a nice, interesting tool for your website, and that's going to help you with your SEO because it's going to increase engagement rate. It's going to be a new way for you to capture leads. You can save a lot of time by creating several pieces of content almost instantly. There's lots and lots of advantages you could be taking advantage of today while your competition aren't, and could be put you in a great position for the future.
Fantastic. So, which I want to ask you guys, our listeners, which of these are you going to implement this week? Let us know. Comment below. We want to hear from you. And please let us know if you've thought of any other ideas, some use cases for AI that you think businesses should be doing right now. But other than that, please hit the follow button, give us 5 stars, because it helps us be shown to other people. It really does. And that's the one favor we ask from you. Please just give us 5 stars and follow us so other people can find us, because it really does help us and encourages us to come back week in, week out to give you the best content. But thank you for listening.